Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on the time in which you're listening to this. Well, I welcome you to the Puma Den. Mr. Pena and I are both working to make sure that we are giving you things to think about, activities to do during this different time in our school. What I'd like to do this morning is to think about some activities that you can do while you're at home. And one thing that we talked about is you can listen to some music. Mr. Pena put over 50 different ideas to reduce stress. And one thing I like to do is I like to draw. Raise your hand if you like to draw. I see you. Now, some people say, well, I'm not very artistic. I believe that we all are artists because art is just a way of creating. We all create something. If it's no more than creating our breakfast, designing or deciding what we're going to wear, we all create. I remember one mother said that she wasn't very artistic, and I said, but you have 4 children, and it takes a lot of creativity to raise 3 children, or 4 children, or one child, and make sure that you give that child everything they need. It takes a lot of individual creativity. So, all of us, in my opinion, we are all artists. Some people focus more on the visual arts, some people on other types of creative expressions. So, this morning, I'd like for you to put on your artist hat. I wore my hat today because this is my artist hat. So, this morning, I'd like to draw a bird. One of this bird that I'm going to draw is a symbol of wisdom. How many of you think you know what that bird might be? I'll give you some hints. Its eyes cannot turn. It rhymes with Mr. Howell. You should know by now, the owl. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw slowly on this paper here, and I want you to follow along. And along the way, I'm going to give you some wise quotes that we would like for you to incorporate into your own thinking and maybe make your own quotes. And in the end, we're going to take a picture of the school and we want you to submit your drawing to your teacher. So the first thing I do when I try to draw something, I try to see something that's familiar within the drawing. Drawing is basically drawing lines. It's just lines. All it is lines. But how they connect to each other create images. So what I try to do is I try to find something very simple in the drawing and start there. I'm going to start with the top of the owl. I'm going to start here. And I'm just going to go over here and do the same thing. And this is the head of the owl. I'm going to come over here and put the eye. The eyes of the owl are very interesting. The owl cannot look on the side of its head. The only way it can see, it can turn its whole neck. Teachers, would you like to have the neck of an owl? Imagine you're working and your back is to your classroom and someone's talking. And if you had an owl neck, you could continue working and swivel your head all the way around and see that one student. Students, I know you wouldn't like that, but I'm just maybe making that as a recommendation. So then I'm going to also put the simple mouth of the owl. I'm going to go down to the body. I'm going to go out. And I'm trying to give it a little bit of feathered look. And the owl's eyes are very interesting. They can pick up lots of light. And I'm going to go over to this other eye. And I'm going to come under here, give it the idea that there's some feathers here. I'm going to go to the right side here, and I'm going to put that wing on. And I'm going to come over here. And I'm going to put on his leg. And I'm going to look like he's perched on a branch. And I'm going to rest for a minute. I'm going to let you catch up. And I'm going to share with you a quote. And the quote says, "A bird sitting on a tree branch is not afraid of the branch breaking. It doesn't trust the branch, but it trusts its wings." Boys and girls, we want you to trust your ability. We want you to trust your family. We want you to build on your abilities so that you can trust yourself more. Rather than saying, oh, that's too hard, it's too difficult. Train yourself to have a growth mindset. I might not be able to do it now, but with time, effort, and hard work, I can improve. And with a growth mindset like that, you can learn to trust yourself. Another quote that I'd like to share with you: in a world where you can be anything you want to be, choose to be yourself. It's the easiest person to be. It's very natural. Back to the drawing. So I'm going to now go and work in some details. I'm just going to put some feathers on here, and I'm going to try to go in the same direction as the head. And I'm going to keep doing this. And if I wanted to, I could take some markers and make this colorful. I come over here and I'm going to put another wing. And one thing, feathers have to be kind of random, so I'm trying to add some detail. When you're drawing, one of the fun things is putting on detail. The more detail you put on something, the more interesting it will appear to someone else. So with these feathers, I just put on a few. The more feathers you put on there, the more someone will go, wow, that looks real. Boys and girls, this is just the beginning of this drawing. Like I said, if I wanted to, I could put more detail to the drawing. And one thing also, if you want to draw something at home with your parents' permission, just Google it. Anything you want to draw, you can Google it, and you could learn it step by step. One other quote I'd like to share with you: knowledge comes from learning. That's what your teachers are teaching you right now. But wisdom, what we want you to learn, comes from living. So when you do something, figure out what happened. How did that happen? Why did I get a reward? Why did I get Student of the Month? Look and see what you did and duplicate that in other situations. Also, you don't have to make all the mistakes. Look at other people. Learn from their mistakes. Learn from their shortcomings. Don't laugh at them, encourage them, but learn from them. We want you to be wise. We want you to spend this time of social distancing in a positive way. Families, we really appreciate what you are doing, and teachers, Mrs. Yabumoto, everyone at Palms. We want to make sure that we do our best to get through this difficult time. But let's get creative. Let's get creative in how we solve our problems. One thing we do have is we have more time in-house than we probably have ever had. Think of ways that you can use your time creatively and grow. And at the end of this, you will know more than you ever knew about yourself. I want to thank you for allowing me to share with you. And what I would do also is I would put some feathers here. And I would put more detail here. But for now, I want to say thank you. Be wise, be smart, be safe, be respectful, and be safe. I said that twice.
Thank you, Mr. Howell, for that great demonstration. Students, we look forward to seeing the work that you guys completed. I have one more activity for you guys. It's going to be a really fun one. Right at the end of this video, there's going to be a picture of the front of the school. What I want you to do is go ahead and pause the video and recreate that image however you want. Markers, crayons, color pencils, paint, whatever it is you have at home, however you want to recreate it. Recreate that image of the front of the school. And then I want you to take a picture of it, email it to your teacher, and your teacher will then go ahead and email it to me. What me and Mr. Howell are going to do is we're going to create a slideshow. And with that slideshow, we'll go ahead and upload it here to the channel so everybody can see everybody's artwork that they created at the front of the school. And it'll be our online art gallery, so it'll be pretty fun to do. After you're done with that, go ahead and take that picture, hang it up in your house, wherever it is that you do your homework at. And that could just be a little reminder of palms for you. It could be your mini palms, we'll call it. And then whenever you're at home doing schoolwork, you look at that picture, you think about palms, think about all the fun stuff you did, all your friends, and thinking about when we come back, all the fun stuff that we're going to do. Well, I hope you guys are having a great week. Keep up the great work. Keep working hard, and we'll see you guys soon.